Good morning. I'm back. Today we're going to work on this tree. Now, I did post a video, we'll call that part 1 for the sake of it, on twisting this tree out. And the beads that I chose to use today are 6/0 seed beads, or 4mm. And I also have some 4mm clear bicones. Look at that. How beautiful. So you can find these on Amazon. I put everything in a playlist so that you can find it. And we're going to keep this simple and let's get started. So if you're new here, I see a lot of new people. Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad that you're here. And I hope that if you haven't made a tree, you'll watch my videos and see that it is actually very easy, and I'll take you step by step. I have a lot of videos that are beginner friendly. You'll find everything in a playlist. So the first thing I like to do is put 3. You can use your seeds if you're following what I'm using, or crystals. I like to put 3 on that first wire and bring it up and twist. Now, this tree, I twisted the wires. I actually put them on the hoop a little different. I also twisted the tree out a little different. I think that you might find it easier if you've looked at my other videos in comparison. So, some of these branches will be in the back, and that is for depth. I would like it to look like it's 3D instead of flat. Novelty, like all of my trees. So the next thing you do, after you put a leaf on your branch, it'll look like that, and then you'll have a long wire and a short wire. Always twist with your long wire so that you don't come up short. So I like to put a few, and to keep it fun, we could just string these on. I think that today we'll put them in little clusters. So with that being said, I'm going to alternate crystals and seed beads. And that just gives it a pretty appearance. They don't have to be alternated. You're not even going to be able to tell. If you want to use all one color, use all one color. It'll be that beautiful. So I have 4, and now I'm going to hold on to my work. This is something very important for all you new people. Hold on to it, because if you don't, you're going to loosen this. By moving this, you'll break your wire, basically. You take away the strength, and you have a weak point. So just put in just a few twists. You don't have to put a lot. And then do it again. Throw some more crystals and beads. I like to do them 4 on each. I do that on even the bigger trees. I find that 4 is nice. I don't always use 4. Lately, I have been using 4. I find that actually helps me to see where I would put a leaf, if I do. On some of them, I don't. This one, I don't know yet. This one here is different, and the little leaf is not hard to put on. I think we will put them on today. So after you make your next cluster, bring these 2 wires to your hoop like this, cross them over like that, bring them up, cross over again, right beneath your hoop, above your last cluster. Bring them back up and cross them over. And then I like to use my wire cutters and get nice and close and clip. Now, you can use all kinds of fancy tools. I have fancy tools, but for this, we don't need that. For this, I like to use tweezers. Dollar store, CVS, you'll find them. They're inexpensive compared to buying all new tools. And if it's your first tree, I started off with a nail clipper, and it worked fine. Didn't cut nails afterwards, but yes. Okay, so now we go on to the next branch. Now this one I have coming out from behind, because I like to keep that 3D look going. So I think I'll put another few twists on that, like that. And now I'll bead up this wire as well. The reason that I turned it over is because I want to attach it to the hoop from the side that I'm beading, and that will also help me to achieve that 3D look. And then of course when you get in there with your needle nose pliers and you put little bends, that also is another way to give you that depth that I'm looking for. So after you get your beads on, just grasp onto them and put in some twists. Now as you can see, those are not alternated. It does not matter. You don't have to alternate. Now I'm going to put in a leaf. I might just put one on every branch. I don't know yet. It's an option to even put a leaf. You don't have to. I like them. So I put 3 on my wire, slide them down, and then support your work. And these wires, just pinch them there. I have them in my hand. And now just twist those 3 little seed beads or bicones, whatever you have. Or if you're using chip beads, you can use one. Just put it on, give it some space, and then twist it so that it is separate from your branch. And after every little leaf, you need to start with your long wire. One will be significantly shorter. I like to cut my wires long because I never know what I'm going to do. I might not put leaves, I might put leaves, but I don't like to work with a short wire, ever. Because I just don't like it. I don't like to struggle or have to use pliers to grasp onto that little wire and reach it over to the hoop. And if those are the main issues, don't even sweat it. You can do it. It is not something that is ridiculously hard, as you can see. We're on the second branch now. Again, support that work, put in a few twists, and take a look at it. Now, that's not going to reach my hoop. So I'm going to put just 2. We'll start off with 1 on each side. And if that'll work, then that's fine. Oh, we got 2 there. Let's see. We can do it. It does look really short. I mean, long, like it doesn't have enough room. And we're just going to push down on the beads and then cross the wire over and put a few twists. If it looks long, that's okay. I'll show you why in just 1 minute. Bring it to your hoop, bring it up from the back, cross it over, bring it down, bring it up, and cross it over again. And now we're going to cut that wire as well. And just get in there with your tweezers and do that. So there's no sharp wires. And the other reason I do it is because it won't loosen. I want my tree to be tight on this hoop. So this is the way to do it. Put your work in your hand, cross your fingers, and hold it with your thumb. Gently push up from the back and down with the thumb. Now you can gently go in and give a little twist with your pliers like this. It brings a realistic look to your tree, and it tightens it up so that branch that looked too long, it is not too long now. And then you can get in and do this big limb just like that. Now the front of my tree, I like to think that the front is the part where, if you look, you see 2 of your wires that you twisted together, you see a hoop. On the back side, you see little dashes, those little lines. I like that to be the back. It just looks more like the front from this angle. So I did put a lot, I alternated branches to put in the back because I want that 3D look. So they'll be further behind than the ones in the front. Now this one I'm going to put on the front because that one I had on the back. And now I will put my beads on my wire. If you want, you don't have to put them on just 4 at a time. What you can do is load up your wire. Some they fall off too, but sometimes I do it that way. Especially when I'm not recording, I just get all involved in my work. Well, I do have a few projects that I have not recorded that I've been working on lately. I will share them with you. Okay, so slide it down. Oops. There we go. One of the reasons I don't load it up when I'm doing these small trees is because I do put the leaf, and when I notice when I do that, I will not have 3 that are the same, and I do like them to be the same. So actually, well, let's twist this one on first. You have to get in there and support that work however you have to. Just get in there and hang on to it and put in your twists. And take that off. Just put your twist on like that. And I will put one more twist. And now I'll add my leaf. I'm going to make this video in smaller segments. This way here. You can follow along at your own pace. Sometimes it gets overwhelming if it's a lot. I have made very long videos. I try not to go over an hour, but I've done that. Because when I get involved and when I start a project, I just can't put it down. Now we'll add our beads. Then we have 2 and 2. Slide them down, pull on them gently away from where you're going to twist. That keeps the wire nice and close to your beads, especially if you're using chip beads. You don't want them spinning on your wire. And bring it over to your hoop. Now if you notice, this one only has 2 sections, 2 clusters on it. That's okay. It doesn't matter. It's going to be full and beautiful, and that's all that matters. It has to be pretty. And toss that down. You'll notice, if you've never made a tree, when you start making a tree, I notice for myself, I lose all track of time. It goes by very, very quickly, and I can do it for hours, work on one project. It's just a matter of how much time you have. And certain times of the day, I have all the time in the world. 2 a.m. my time. Okay. Now I know that it's not going to scratch me, and we can go on to the next one. So I think after this branch, we'll put it down. Maybe we'll do another section. I don't know yet, we'll see. And if this happens to you, you get a little kink like that, gently just undo it and just put it in between your thumb and your finger and just gently work it out. The heat from your hand will also help to get that kink out, because you don't want to force a bead over it because you'll break your wire. So I think right now, I think I'll put a leaf here. You can alternate or not put them at all. I do like them though. And put your 3 beads on like that. Hold on to those 2 wires. You bring it right up to where the twist is and slide your beads down and gently turn them like that. Not too much or you won't have a leaf, but that'll work. And it filled in that nice space. Now, don't worry about the space. This tree is going to have so much beauty to it that you wouldn't even notice a space. Now we'll do another cluster. And slide those down. You see, if you don't push it all the way down, it didn't slide. I had to push it a little bit. You'll see the wire. I don't like that look. So for me, I push it down all the way. Hold on to your beads. Nice little tug away from where you're going to twist. And then I use my thumb for tension. Push it all the way down, cross your wire, and then put in your twist like that. Now let's put a leaf. So I think what we'll do, I'll turn it so that the long wire is now below. Because it's longer, I can make that leaf and not worry about having a shorter wire. If you're just twisting, twist with the longest wire. If you're going to add a leaf, put it on the longest wire. I slide them down, cross that over, just like that, and put in a little twist like this. That's very easy. Look at that, how pretty. And it's not hard. You know, I'm not doing anything fancy, and I'm just showing you the basics to get you started, because I know you'll love it. If you love trees like I do, and the tree of life is very, very beautiful, I think this is probably your craft. Now, these, excuse me, the seed beads that I'm using, like I said, I do have them in a playlist. If you're making jewelry, they're not the bead for you. If you read the reviews, some people complain that they're not all the same. They are not. And by that, you can see this one here. It's like a double bead. That's fine. For what I use, that'll work for me. I have no problem with that. Now get those beads together and cross your wire over. Give them a little tug down and put in your twists like that. Bring it to your hoop, pass it over your hoop, bring it up in the big space like this, and now cross it over, you're going to push those 2 wires down in between the branch that you just made and the one you made before it, and bring them back up and over like that, and then clip your wire. Pretty easy, right? So far hasn't been that hard. The thing that'll take you the most time is using your tweezers to get in here. It's not hard. I have 2. These are flat and wide, and for a branch that has a tight fit, I use these. These ones here are pointy. I have had these for years. They came from the dollar store, I believe, in a set. So now that that section is complete, you can get in there with the needle nose pliers, put your work in your hand, however you have to grasp onto it, and put your thumb on it, and get in there and support your work and put in a twist on all the little spaces. Like this, a little, just a little, not a lot. Now, if you notice, this is a pressure point. This is where I'm holding it. I'm pushing it with my finger from the back, right here. And I'm going to put a twist there, put a twist there, and a big one right here. And now just rearrange your branches. Take a look. So far, that has not been hard, guys. I know you can do that. We're going to have some fun with the roots too. Now, excuse me, this big branch, I'm going to put the whole thing in the back because it looks like that's where it belongs. So I'm going to turn my work over and do it the same as I did on the front. Twist that. So, let's see, do we need a leaf there? Don't think so. I twisted this one out a lot more. So we'll skip the leaf here. Maybe we'll do it on the next one. I don't know. We'll see. And just put on your beads. Like that. And there's that long one. And I'll show you. It doesn't matter. There it is. Sometimes if it's real long, it's like 2 beads. Slide them down. Bring your wires together like this. Get in there and support your work. And cross your wire over and keep that tension right there while you twist. Like that. Not so bad. This is a great project for a simple gift for a housewarming. You can do birthstones. You can do a lot of things with the tree life. You can also make them in bracelets. I do that as well. And I have the ones that I use in a playlist. They make great Christmas ornaments. You can do them seasonal. I also do the 4 seasons. Where I live, we have 4 seasons. And they come out beautiful. They're very easy. You get a whole bunch of them. You'll be making them forever. They make a nice little gift to put on a gift. You know, I bought a whole bunch of little sachet bags, like with the drawstring, and they have little branches on them. I should post them on my playlist so that you can see them. I just slip it in there with a suction cup, and that is my gift on a gift. So now bring your wire to your top of your hoop, pass it up, and cross it over. Now remember, this one is on the opposite side. I went ahead and just brought the branches. I did this in part 1 of just twisting this tree, and you have to hold on to that or you'll break it. It wasn't hard to figure out which ones go in the front and which ones go in the back. So now let's just, I'll show you right after this next branch, and then we'll call this done for now. Turn my work back over, and I would like to put a leaf, so I want the longer wire. There we go. Depending on how you twist, this is why I like to cut my wire a little long. 14 inches probably would have done it okay. I mean, this is what I have left. I would rather have that than not reach my hoop. So that's why I cut my wire at 16 inches. Now, if you're not putting a little twist, because that eats up your wire, and you're not putting in leaves, or even if you do, just one on each, 14-inch will work for you, and you will have no issue with it being too short. The bigger the bead, the more wire it takes. And I'm going to twist with this long wire because I don't want to come up short, and it's a good habit to get yourself into. So now put in a twist or two, and now we're going to load these two up. We're going to put 4 on our wires, 2 on the left, 2 on the right. Okay. I do like these little pink seed beads. They're so pretty. And they have a million colors to choose from. And like I said, I do like the ones with the mirrored look. They're very reflective. And I am crazy for crystals. I'm going to turn that one more time because I would like to put a leaf on this longer wire. And after this, I'll use my needle nose pliers, and I'll show you why I'm working from the front and the back, because this entire branch is on the back, and you will see how to bend your wires and separate your branch so that you can see the dimension in your tree. It's subtle, but it's noticeable, and it'll be beautiful. Now I'll put another cluster on. Like that. And 4 on each side. And slide them down as far as you can. And cross the wire over. Hold on to them. And put in your twist like that. And now that will reach the top of our hoop. Bring it up, cross it over, bring those 2 wires up again. Now notice this finger, you have to hold on to it, or else it's going to do this, and it'll weaken your wire, and that's where it'll break. So I always have my hands on my work and pass it down. It makes it easier also when you support your work than having to chase it all over your hoop. And cut those 2, and I'm going to bend those right around the neck of the branch. Now, that completes the first half of our tree. That didn't take long. So, I am going to end it here, but before I do, let me just move this out of the way. I'm going to show you how to add the depth to your tree. Support your tree in your hand, and with your thumb, get right down here, because this is where you'll break if you don't support it. Push down, and with your thumb, push up with your fingers. Get right here on this long, see? I'm holding on to it, and give it a little pull, a little tug, a little twist. And then when you do your leaf, hold on to it however you have to. Get it in between your finger, just the slightest little bend. Same over here. I have it pushing on my finger, and here, and now this one. This one will push back a little bit because this is the back branch. And this one is the front. Now the next section, this big section, we'll get to that on the next part of making this tree. And there we have the depth, if you can see that. You can see that this comes out from the back of the tree, and that is the front. See that how far back? Oops. This branch is all the way behind this. The little branches that are in the back, you can gently pull them back. Just gently. You don't have to be rough. You add your dimension like that. Do it all when you're done with your tree before you lace. If you lace, I suggest that you do. I always lace. And there is a video on that that shows very slowly in detail how to lace your branch. So again, the front of our tree is where you can see the hoop right here. And the back is where you see the dotted line. The little wires right there. Does it matter? It does to me, because I notice when I make a tree, one side looks better, and that's the side that I twist. Now, I'll show you an example of that with this beauty. This right here is the front. This branch comes out the front, and this one comes out the back. Now, that looks really, really pretty. When you flip it over, it's just as beautiful. The dotted line is in the back, and clearly you can see this branch comes out here. You can see a depth. The way I shaped my tree, my preference is to have that being the front. So when I give it to someone, they'll hold it up and they'll figure out how they would like to hang it. I don't have to follow what I think. I just think it looks beautiful that way. This is actually one of my favorites. Okay, my friends. For everyone that's new, I will see you again shortly. For everyone that's been here forever, gosh, you guys are the best. And we'll call this a day. Bye for now.